Green? The thing about like I spent most of my life in Southern California, so all of the crazy traffic and all that stuff, completely true. Truer than you could probably know unless you saw videos of it. The movie Falling Down actually has a pretty good example of it. Just that first opening scene, maybe also the opening scene of Office Space. Actually, no, Office Space you move too much. Yeah, horrendous. A large fraction of your day would be spent commuting. Moving out here to Kentucky, the thing that got me the most was how the people are. Well, to this day, the best thing about Kentucky, I say, is the people. And that means I'm comparing them to Californians. So when I was driving around here, my wife kept trying to get me to use my blinker. I was a very, very aggressive driver. And you kind of have to be, but I was probably top 10%. Like, I was up there. I was aggressive, but I was like triple aggressive. And she was trying to get me to use my blinker, and she's like, the people are, it's different here. You're not in Southern California. And I was on New Circle, and I wanted to get over. I probably will never forget this, but I wanted to get over. And I looked over, and there was a car in that sweet spot where he's behind you, but still close enough that they can close the gap and get in your way and block you. You know, you drive very adversarially in California. You know, you're fighting for position. Yeah, it's true. That's weird to say. You're fighting for position, and like if you put on your blinker, that's code to everyone else that you're going to try to take their spot, and that they need to do something to stop it. So, you know, they speed up, take the spot. So, you know, you get to this, like, you got to eyeball it, but not really eyeball it, and then boom, you hit it, and then when you're like halfway through the lane change, you hit the blinker just so you got a little bit of a fig leaf to cover your illegal fig leaf. I would almost never use my blinker unless I was driving so aggressively that I didn't want people to freak out. Because when you drive fast enough, everyone else is a pylon, is a cone for you to move around. And when you're moving around people like that, the best thing that they can do and the best thing you want for them to do is to hold still. Continue doing exactly what you're doing. And when people see coming up in their rearview mirror, they sometimes freak out and they'll like, oh, this guy's gonna ram me, or he's crazy, or they dodge out of the way. And if that's the way you were about to go around them, well, now you've got yourself an accident. So you put on your blinker beforehand to let them know, hey, I'm gonna go around you, and they just kind of hold still. Nothing. Well, in Kentucky, in that scene, that moment, I remembered my wife, and I'm like, all right, I'll put on my blinker, and I think this bus stops here. Yeah. So I put on my blinker, and the car slowed down. You can see his bumper dip as he slowed down to let me in. And in that simple action, that simple tap of the brakes, I don't know, I guess my traffic world got turned upside down. We weren't adversaries anymore. We were friends. And he was not more important than me. In fact, in a very Christian sense, he was putting me first. And I've tried to pay that forward as much as possible. And it's really changed the way that I drive. Everything is a bit slower out here. Not terribly slow, but slower. And it's been awesome. The other thing, that was the beginning of this video, was me waiting at a light. It had turned green, and I was sitting there, and the guy in front of me was sitting there, and he was just hanging out and doing something, and I just wait, and then it turned, he realized and then started going, and I went. That was the other thing I started to notice, was that apparently is a Kentucky thing. It might not be like a South thing. It might even be just a Lexington thing. Because I talked to some folks from around this area and from Tennessee, and they said that doesn't happen. There's like a 2-lane signal, and the light turns green, and there's probably 20 cars total stacked up, and the light turns green, and there's 2 cars blocking the way because they're both not paying attention, and nobody honks. Nobody honks. Which is just mind-boggling to me. And it's, hey, no rush. Hey, I'm not sure what you're doing, but go ahead and finish up. And then, like, if you make it to like 30 seconds, you might get the slightest just like, excuse me, sir. California, the light changes, and if you don't miss a beat, if your tail lights aren't already dimming, then move it. Out here, as my Tennessee friend put it, we'll just let him finish that text message. It's amazing, and it's different, and it's good. And the people are good. And I love it here.